Are you still doing are you still doing the D&D podcast?
Yes, we are. What we did is we had like an in-person, we had like 12 people over and did like an in-person D&D like epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 1 day, all day, 3 different parties all in one location playing D&D. And so the planning for that kind of put the podcast on back burner.
Fair enough. Are you ever going to release any episodes of said show?
Not my business. I'm happy to keep recording them, but it's up to Michael to release them.
Yeah, I mean, like, if season 1 of our podcast was talking about VR over time, season 2 and now into season 3 has been, hey, is that D&D podcast ever going to get released?
Yeah. Hopefully. It's really good.
I believe you. I'd love to listen to it.
Yeah, it's great. I would love other people to listen to it.
It's like I myself would like to listen to it and find out what it was like.
Yeah. Elden Ring came out recently.
Well, I mean, I saw that you blasted through 70 some odd. I mean, are you done? Like,
I finished my first character.
Okay.
I was just really busy the last couple of days, so I haven't had a chance. I haven't had like a good chunk of time to like sit down and play it.
Yeah.
So we did D&D yesterday. We're doing a new campaign, and it's like, so
Got
I'm
it.
ready. I have my second character already started. I'm ready.
Okay.
How's your playthrough going?
Oh boy. So I just finished, and I guess, okay, so like for everybody listening, you'll do a little bit of spoilers on Elden Ring. Although that being said, I imagine we're probably going to want to do a whole podcast.
Yes, we're not going to talk very much about it. I want to do a whole podcast for sure.
Yeah, that'll be the next podcast. So spoiler alert,
Yes.
The next podcast is going to be, I think, like a Dark Souls just in general.
Yes. Yeah, I think talking about the whole series as a whole, yeah.
Yeah, so
Like from Kingsfield on.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, I've never played Kingsfield or Demon Souls for that matter, but you know.
Okay. Well, so yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot there to unpack. There's a lot.
Yeah, I definitely have some strong opinions. And then, of course, I played Bloodborne, which I know you haven't actually got a chance to like physically play.
I have not. Yeah, I have not.
Yeah, that's too bad. You know, because I think you'd like Bloodborne, but that's
actually,
neither here nor
after
there.
playing Elden Ring, I definitely think I would like Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm. But I think is it last night I finally beat General Radon.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was a huge. I didn't think I was gonna be able to beat that.
Neither. Well, I mean, so, you know, all I could say about that fight is after I realized that you could summon multiple people, like I was going into every single one of those fights, like fucking Gary Oldman in
everyone.
Yeah, it's like I want you to summon everyone. What do you mean to everyone?
Yeah. Did you know you can resummon?
Yes. Oh, I was going around fucking popping everybody. Although that being said,
I did not realize that.
That fight was the one where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get swole for this fight. So because I've been using the what is it, like the Houndstooth
the Bloodhound.
Yeah, because I did Samurai, right? Because like of course. So I've been like doing a dex build, which like I don't ever do. But I was like, fuck it, whatever. Like Samurai's cool. I'm gonna do dex build. I'm gonna do it up. But and of course I had to do that fight, regardless of whether or not it was the best armor choice. I had to do that with the wolf mask. That was crucial. So
nice.
Had to make sure I was wearing that. You know, that was critical. And then I got my sword up to +9. Like I got my flasks up to +5. So like I didn't have to pop 2 to actually like heal myself up, you know, rode my horse the whole time, summoned fucking everyone. Like, I mean, like, and it still took me several tries to beat it, even with all of that. So
it's one of those fights where you're just like, man, it's so intense the whole time.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grounded out for like an hour at a lower level, and I was like, I'm getting fucking nowhere. I'm doing like chip damage to this guy. Like I can't, like I need to be doing at least an inch of damage per hit, you know, like for this to even be feasible. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. And actually, I mean, I will say, like, just and I don't want to get too far into it, obviously, and use up all the things I have to say, but I will just say as a general concept, I think that this Elden Ring seems to have been very much designed around like using like the spirit ashes and summoning on a more regular basis. Like it feels different than like you could play it like Dark Souls and then it's just the hardest Dark Souls.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But I get the feeling that Miyazaki's like, no, could you just please? These summons are so cool. Just summon them. You'll like them.
And like the fact that you can just like you don't have like there's not one or two paths to go down, so it's just like you can get really swole.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were saying, and so like you can essentially choose your difficulty in Elden Ring.
Yeah, which has always been true, but like even to a greater extent now. Like you don't have to grind so much as you could just fuck off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah. So
I guess
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but you're enjoying it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's all I was interested in.
I literally just stopped playing like 30 minutes ago because I was like, okay, the podcast is coming up and I don't want to be in the middle of something.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah, nice.
But I just finished Ronnie's quest line.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, you didn't, but cool.
No. I mean, other than finishing the game, I finished. I did all the things.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because I just killed, and again, spoilers, but I just killed Blythe and got the rest of his armor, and I was very disappointed to find out I could not wear all of it with my current endurance stat. So,
wait, you get his armor when you kill him?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel like I got his armor when I killed him. Sorry, that was just me typing a little bit.
No, that's fine. You killed him in front of Ronnie's Rise, right? Like after you do her quest line and give her the ring and all that shit, you killed him, and you went back to Ronnie's Rise and killed him.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, you should do that and get his armor. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, I should do that, yeah. I should go back on my level 150 max equipment, dual wielding strength colossal weapon character and just, like, one tap him.
Yeah, I mean, you should absolutely do that. Because, yeah, I mean, like, so I had to choose.
I never got his helmet either.
Oh, his helmet is behind, you know where the fucking, like, asshole summoner dude is in the three, like, because there's the three towers and his tower. Mm-hmm. If you go behind his tower, the head is there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been. Well, give me something to do after this.
I've been looking up a bunch of stuff because I was like,
oh yeah. At a certain point, I just started looking up everything because I was like, I never really. I play the Souls games blind until I get frustrated and I stop enjoying it, and then I look it up because I want to enjoy my experience. I have always, and again, I don't want to get too far into this, but like, and I'll argue, next time we do this, but like, I will say that I think Miyazaki intends for you to use the wiki, that like, I think that he really is big on the whole idea of like, this is like a community effort. And it's like, because I feel like they had an interview with him at some point. So I don't think I'm saying anything controversial, but like, I feel like he had an interview at some point where he talked about like the whole concept of Dark Souls is very much like, came from like the playing with your friends and like people in like the neighborhood like being like, oh yeah, if you go here like this thing and like from like Legend of Zelda type shit. Yeah. I think that's definitely it. Yeah.
And so it's like using the wiki is like part of it. It's like the giant internet sized version of like talking to your friend group and finding out secrets in a game.
Talking to Joey Smelly Pants.
Yeah, from down the street who exactly. Nobody wants to hang out with, but at least he knows how to get the Great Moon Greatsword. Yeah. But yeah, man. So yeah, I definitely next time I want to do a full Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Kingsfield, Demon Souls retrospective.
And I'll have been able to get some PvP in by that point. So I'll have a better understanding of how much I actually like the game ultimately.
Yeah, we'll turn to our man on the street, Steven, for his PvP experience because
exactly. Because you're not going to do that. Yeah,
I will probably do some PvP eventually once I'm like kind of done-ish with the game. But like, yeah. I mean, I do keep that ring on the like the whatever the blue one is.
Yeah.
And definitely. I did get summoned once, and we did win, and that was fun.
Yeah.
So
that's it. That's the fun stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, man. So. I guess the other thing that I've been up to, obviously, is making just an absolute dump truck full of music for you to listen to.
Yeah. I mean, very little, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things.
Yes, but more than I intended. It's kind of like...
Six songs.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I made a couple songs, and I was like, oh, man, like, am I out of ideas? Like, can I, like, actually come up with anything? And then, like, proceeded to make, like, an album's worth of music.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so you changed your recording setup as well?
Yeah, I've been downloading a bunch of like new free plugins, and I also bought myself an actual MIDI controller. It's like a little mini controller. It's just got like I think it's got like 25 keys.
A little mini controller.
I know it's a mouthful, right?
Yeah,
but it's got 25 keys, but like it's got what is important is it's got like a pitch and a modulation wheel, which is like obviously what my shitty old keyboard that I was using before did not have. So it's like sometimes I like if I want to play like piano, I have that keyboard for that. But this is like if I want to do like lead stuff where I want to like bend and do all sorts of, you know, funness and like performative type aspects. And so it's just like a little small thing. It's got pads for doing drums. It's cool. I like it. It's, you know.
Oh, cool. What is it called?
It's called Nectar LX25 Plus. Nectar with a K, by the way.
Oh, of course it's with a K. Of course. What was I even thinking? Okay, yeah, one of those. Yeah. There's a couple songs I like where it's just a guy playing like one of these essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing, you know, and like I can actually like control the like the software with it, you know, so I can start and stop, I can hit record, I can do, I mean, it's I am not even close to using it to its full potential, you know, at all, but like it's, you know,
yeah, it's a great instrument.
Yeah, it's very useful to have. It's kind of nice if I just want to like bust that out and like, you know, do something kind of small, you know. So it's I like it a lot. But yeah, man. So did you want to listen to a couple of those tracks and let me know what you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
hit me with it.
So I'm gonna listen to Black Metal Drum Loop first.
Are you listening to the? Because I sent you a couple versions of that. Make sure you're listening to the actual version of it. So
okay,
yeah. So unfinished black metal thing. Yeah, Forest of Malice, I think, is what I ended up calling it.
Okay. That's Forest of Malice? Okay,
yeah, and that's the actual one after I decided I was going to make it an actual song.
Yep, that definitely sounds like black metal. Oh, is that your voice?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Damn. You have to drink some tea after that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yelling a little bit now because I got...
No, it's fine.
I mean, this just sounds like a black metal song. This is great.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear.
I mean, it's not like 13 minutes long, so it's clearly not a black metal song, but, you know, it sounds like one.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. You gotta, like, I don't know. You gotta, like, record it in another room from your, like, microphones. That's the next step you gotta take.
Well, okay. I was gonna do... I had played around with doing like a true, like a fucking True Cult version of it where I just absolutely crush it to death. And it sounds hilarious. So I might have to send that to you at some point.
Yeah, do definitely. Yes, this reminds me a lot. Oh, nice. Yeah, you even got like the fast bit.
Exactly.
Do you post these with the podcast?
I do.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, this is good.
Awesome.
This is just like, this reminds me of fucking like early Ulver or oh my god, the French one.
Oh, like Alcest?
No, not all. Well, yeah. I mean, it's black metal. So
Amacers.
Thank you. This reminds me of Amacers a little bit.
I mean, I'll take that as an enormous compliment.
Like half Ulver, half Amacers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that as the enormous compliment that it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's an extreme compliment. Wow. I can't believe that's you singing.
Dude, it's honestly like, so, and that was part of the reson why I wanted to send it to you, is I wanted to see, like, it's like, does it hold up? Like, does it actually sound like,
yeah,
you know?
if you just were like, hey man, I want to listen to this black metal song, and like you put it on YouTube under a different name, I'd have been like, yeah, this is good black metal.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's just good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Actually, there's one before that really quick. It's a new music. I think it was on January 8th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get you.
Yeah, I've actually got...
Even more.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I sent you just an
it's
absolute...
fine. No, it's good. This is the music podcast.
This is the... Yes.
Oh, new music. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Disco Elysium. The chaotic techno one, that's... I mean, that one was fine. It's whatever. And then the last, like the hyperpop one, the last version of it. Yeah.
Oh, there's two. Yeah. Hyperpop Thing.
And then...
One more update, yes.
Yeah, one more update. But yeah. The Windchime Piano was the thing that started the whole thing out.
And here's the actual chaotic song. I want to download it. I don't want to listen to my browser. There we go. All in there. Chaotic Hyperpop Windchime. That's a song name right there. Okay. Chaotic Techno Beat. You played too much Cyberpunk 2077, I can already tell. Yeah, I mean, oh my god. I feel like I'm playing one of the Johnny Silverhand sections all of a sudden. It's like, where's my revolver so I can like walk around corners and shoot people in the head?
This was me. I was experimenting with a lot of stuff because I was learning how to do things like automation properly, and I'll explain what that is at some point. But like, I was basically trying to,
you know, you're just like setting up a loop and then like keep going.
Well, it's more like things like how it, you know, it sort of fades in like that, where it's not fading in like from a volume perspective. It's actually fading in from like a EQ filter perspective. And there's a couple other points in here where I'm like fucking around with like basically moving sliders automatically through the software.
Yes, I can tell that. Yeah. I can tell you're having fun with the sliders.
Yeah, I was fucking around with it. I was basically just trying to figure out like what can be done.
Yeah. Bring that guitar in.
Which is not an actual guitar.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, right?
You fooled me. You did fool me, actually. Yeah, and then back to the yes, this is video game music.
Oh, for sure.
100%. Yeah. This is what it reminds me of. That's good though. The middle part's nice. I like all the messing around was what sounded very cool ultimately.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't immediately. Yeah, that was good.
Nice.
Chaotic techno beat. Okay, hyper pop thing.
Yeah, also I will mention the black metal thing. The only thing that wasn't, because I did play the guitars on that, the only thing that wasn't me was the drums, because I can't play drums that well.
No, I figured those were synthesized drums, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you hadn't become like...
an amazing black metal drummer? Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like, yeah, just in the background. Ooh, I like this. I like the sound of this already, this hyper pop. This is very bubblegum.
That's exactly what it was going for.
Yeah. Is this you singing still?
It is. Heavily processed.
Of course, yes, of course. Just knowing it's your voice is like, it's a little
absurd.
funny. That was really good though. I like that.
So have you never heard of hyperpop before?
I guess not.
Yeah, it's a whole genre, and I was basically, I mean, like, if you listen to like any of the songs from that, I'm hoping that you'll find that I did in fact nail it. But basically, somebody described it once as take the last 20 years of popular music and put it in a blender, and then make chipmunks sing it. And that's hyperpop.
Oh, this song. Wait a second. What's this first song?
Yeah, you've probably heard.
The very first song. I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that. I think
it's actually one of the ones you sent me before.
Yeah, I was about to say, that reminded me of some of the other bands I listened to. That makes sense. That was really good. I love that.
Awesome.
Wind chime, piano, ambient.
Yeah, I accidentally made Disco Elysium music.
How ambient are we talking about here?
Not actually ambient.
Okay.
I mean, ambient in the sense of like it would be in the background of like a video game ambient, not ambient as in like it's not a song. It's literal ambient sound. Yeah, I haven't really moved into that genre.
Yeah. Have you listened to Wob or Wob?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you should check him out. I'm going to post the album in the Discord here. Because I don't think I would ever recommend it as an album to like talk about.
Because I don't know
I don't know what I would fucking say about it.
It's ambient.
It's kind of ambient. It's like nature music.
Interesting.
It's really good though. I'm sure you might get some inspiration from it.
I'll absolutely check it. I mean, I've gotten an inspiration from it. I mean, even the stuff that we're going to talk about today, I got inspiration from. So
fuck yeah, good. I like the sound of that. The tones you're using there, the like, I guess piano tones in the background. They remind me a lot of World's End Girlfriend.
Okay. I don't think I've heard them before.
Oh, okay, well, or a Lily.
Hey, Lily. Okay, yes.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of a Lily. One of their like either one of their first ones or one of their like last ones.
Yeah.
In Wake Sleep.
Yeah. There's this company called Spitfire Audio, and they have a ton of free shit, and I used a lot of it to make this. Because their stuff is beautiful. Like all the stuff that they have is just incredible sounding. The kind of like wind chimey stuff in the background kind of reminds me a little bit of Brick.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Definitely, I could see that. Yes, this definitely feels like the intro to a post rock album.
Yeah, you'll see at what point it becomes Disco Elysium if you remember anything about the music from that, which you may not.
Nope, probably not. Oh, is it these trumpets coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I do remember that.
This trumpet sound is from that pack, and I love how like floaty and like it sounds like an actual person playing, you know.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
You know, somebody wants to make a game and put this in the background, you know, credit me. I won't be mad.
Yes, this is definitely like a sad end credits or cutscene music. Yeah. Someone's died.
It reminds me so much of like the music while you're just walking around Revachol, like in Disco Elysium, because it has that sad trumpet music going through it. Like, yeah. When I made this, I was like, oh shit, I like this. I like this music that I made.
Okay, now on to Miss You.
Did you see the lo-fi hip hop?
Is that Chill Hop #1?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that one first.
Yeah, that one I think is pretty short.
Yes. Adult Swim Bump.
Right?
Yeah,
this
100%.
So, listening to the Cloud Dead album you sent me reminded me, I was like, oh, that's right. Like, what is it? Like record sounds in songs is a thing, I was like, I should see if there's a free record sound plugin, and there is. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to add it to this song.
Nice. Yeah. Oh man, this would be great night driving music.
Oh, we'll get to that part.
Yeah. Oh, is that Midnight Escape?
Yeah.
Well, this is like a nice cool night.
Yeah.
This is not you racing down the highway.
Yeah, these are those lo-fi beats for you to study to.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was literally picturing that chick.
Yeah. I've got the fucking like train sounds in the background as well.
I don't have it turned up enough.
Yeah, there's some like ambient, like kind of like subway types, not subway, I guess it was more like overland train, but like train sounds and like a little bit of like locusts in the background as well. I was going for like a very like, Japanese station, it's summer at night type of vibe to it.
You definitely got a night traveling vibe going.
Yeah. And it's also a perfect loop. So like,
oh, is it?
Yeah, so if you loop it, you can just it'll loop forever and it feels natural.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's good.
All right, now Miss You. This one I'm very excited to hear what you think, because I was going for Graham Cartna, and I want to see if I came close.
Yeah, you certainly got that part, the like ba down. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. I like that. That was cool. That'll break down. Yeah, it's really good. I'd listen to a whole album of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that one I was so I was using a couple different things to do that. One of them was a granular synth, which basically you feed it a sample and it'll play tiny little chunks of that, through it, which is how I did those little breakdown sections. And then I also used just a straight up sampler. And then I chopped it up into pieces and played all sorts of little like bits of it, which is how I got those kind of like glitchy things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I like that.
Excellent. I've learned a ton of shit, dude.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. This is quite the variety of genres here. You could open your own little like mix studio.
I mean, I'm thinking about doing a SoundCloud at some point, because I mean, I've started to get into this enough that I'm like, okay, maybe it's time.
Yeah, definitely, you should. This is good stuff. Okay, Midnight Escape is next.
Yeah, synthwave, literally the 80s.
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. What you got to do is you got to find a way to combine all of these into one song.
I know, right?
It's you talking, so I was just like, wait, what? Just gotta keep driving, we're gonna make it.
It's my best like 80s like fucking hero voice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really good. Like that one.
All right. Finally the last one.
Yes. The glitchy piano piece. Earthbound.
I can see that.
That's just my first initial. I mean, that's my initial reaction to a lot of things.
I mean, I'm heavily inspired by Earthbound in so many things. It's almost impossible to like not.
And it's
say
such
that
a variety of genres in Earthbound. It's like.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because I mean, fucking what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. It's like Uedo or I don't remember what his name is, but like he's hugely inspired by American pop culture, and so there was just tons of musical references.
He's Japanese. I mean,
well, yes, also that.
Yeah, they eat KFC on Christmas.
Oh no, Shigesato Itoi.
Right. Yes.
I always forget his name. So I had downloaded a sample pack, which was people like using a desk lamp to like tap and like make noises and stuff on, and that's all the percussive elements in this.
Well, that's cool. You got yourself a little bit of electroacoustic going on. Mm. I was wrong. This reminds me of World's End Girlfriend.
I have to listen to that band then, because I think I'll probably like it a lot.
You would like it a lot. It's another one I don't know if I would ever want to like. I mean, I probably would, but at the same time, I'm just going to post it because you will like it. Oh, man, they have a new album. Ooh. Oh, no, that's 2005. God damn it. Have they made anything recently? Oh, yeah, he's made a shit ton of stuff. Oh, my. Yes. 100% World's End Girlfriend. Yeah, you should definitely listen to them. They're amazing. That reminds me almost one-to-one of them. That's really good.
Okay, well then I absolutely need to do that. Yeah, man. So that's the shit that I've been fucking making.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed all those. They're very all professional sounding, really.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I've learned a lot. There's a couple of things that I've really kind of like improved over time. Is first of all, I understand mastering a lot better now, because before I would just make a song and then I would just like, that was it. I would just make it. And I didn't realize that like after you make the song, you should probably do some things to it to make it sound like, it was made by a professional instead of by a dude in his basement, which
less
is
obvious than it seems. I certainly never did that when I was making music.
Like, so And honestly, I've done a little bit of cheating because there's this plugin called OTT, which literally stands for over the top, because you just kind of slap it on the master track and it makes almost everything sound better. But it's a multi-band up-down compressor, which basically means that it compresses each, like the low frequency band, the mid frequency band, and the high frequency band, and you can adjust those. And it does both upward compression, so makes softer sounds louder, and then downward compression makes louder sounds softer. And it just, you put it on something and you play a little bit with like how aggressive it is, and just that makes everything sound so much better, except for a couple genres where it doesn't really work. Like, fucking, I didn't put it on the black metal thing because...
Yeah, I was about to say the black metal, yeah.
Yeah, you want the black metal to sound pretty dirty, so, like, I kept it off that. It's gotta sound bad. Yeah, I mean, like, I left it sounding somewhat bad, but like I sort of accidentally kind of ended up with like a Death Heaven type of thing with like the way that I did the vocal processing, because essentially like it sounds like I'm really like laying into it, but I'm really not. Like, it's pretty relaxed doing the black metal vocals. I just kind of like put a little English on the vocals, you know, and then that's it. And then I just throw it through some compression and a shit ton of reverb, and boom, you have black metal vocals. The end. That's all it takes. Yeah, wow. And clipping the mic. Like,
oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Really clipping the mic. Like, getting your face right in it, just absolutely clipping the mic, you know. I have a little, like, a file where I'm just testing out, like, different types of metal vocals. Like, I've done, like, the death metal, like, Cookie Monster vocals, and I've done kind of, like, the... like whatever the fuck they're called, like the sludge metal kind of like yelled vocals, and like it's just playing around with some sliders and then just knowing how to, like, you know, perform in front of the mic. But like I have learned a shit ton about vocal processing since, you know, some of the earlier stuff that I made, so it's been getting better there. And then I've also learned how to actually use a synthesizer. Like,
that sounds important.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, is you can just, you know, like when you have, like, most synthesizers are three things, right? They're an oscillator. Okay. So it's something that makes a sound, right? Like, they makes a sine wave or it makes a sawtooth. I mean, you've probably heard those terms like sawtooth, sine wave, square wave. It makes those sounds, right? So it's an oscillator. And then there's an envelope, usually what's called an ADSR envelope, which is attack, decay, sustain, release. And it basically says when you press a key, what happens? Like, how quickly does it take for the sound to come up to full volume? How quickly does the full volume decay? At what volume does the decayed volume sit at? And then how long does it take to release? And by fucking around with those, you can create all different types of noises. And then the synth will have, it's really four things. It'll have a low frequency oscillator, which doesn't make sound because it doesn't oscillate fast enough to make like a noise, but you use it to control other parameters. So it's like you can have a sine wave LFO, low frequency oscillator, which basically moves a parameter like the volume, for instance, up and down to kind of get some movement in your synthesizer. And then you have a filter, which is essentially just cutting off either the low frequencies, the high frequencies, or just kind of scanning like a band of the frequencies in the middle. And to really oversimplify things, that's what 99% of synthesizers are. And then the rest of it is just plugging those things into each other to make all sorts of fucking crazy things. So like on a bunch of those songs, like the kick drums, like the 808 kick drums, like that kind of, you know, boom, boom sound that like is like so like classic. I just made my own 808s because it's like I know how to do it now. It's like I know what parameters to set and I know what things I could fuck around with to make different sounding like electronic kick drums, essentially.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So you've
mastered it.
I have not even
begun
close.
To. Yeah, I know.
What's hilarious is like, you know, I find that I have a completely new appreciation for like, I'll tell you what, like, so I went back and listened to Jay Byers.
Yeah.
That you'd recommended forever ago. And I thought that song was really cool when I listened to it. But that was it. I was like, oh, this is cool. I went back and listened to it and I was just like, oh God, that poor guy. All of the shit that he had to do probably to make that sound like that. Like, I'm at the point now, right, where if you gave me all the sounds he used, I could probably assemble a facsimile of Jay Byers and be like, okay, this is basically how it is. But like, he probably had to make a shit ton of that stuff, and the meticulous fucking work that it takes to like put it all together. Like, I never would have even thought about the things that he was doing in that, I would have been like, what? Like, that's... it just wouldn't have even occurred to me. It's like, if I have it in front of me, it's like, copy this picture by paint by numbers. Okay, yeah, sure, I could do it. But like, the person who had the idea is the genius,
Yes. I mean, yeah.
So I think, you started me on this journey accidentally, perhaps, maybe on purpose, maybe accidentally, but
glad I can help.
Yeah, you absolutely. Because like when we had talked, I think it was the podcast when we talked about Boards of Canada. I said, I don't really have the toolbox and like the terminology to describe what I'm listening to. I have that now. I can't make most of it, but now I know what I'm listening to. I'm this is how they're making this shit. And
now I'm really excited to talk about Cloud Dead then.
Oh, me too. I mean, Cloud Dead, fantastic. So it's just like, it's one of those things I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it now. Like, I understand how much, like, fucking the Graham Cartner stuff that I went back and listened to. I'm like, God, like, I understand why some of the songs are so short, because like, it's so meticulous to create that glitchy shit. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's the best stuff too.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. I wish there are some tools. Like, I have like a couple glitch plugins that like help with making it sound like that. But even with those things, it's still like you have to do some pretty meticulous things sometimes to get the kind of effects that they're using, or either that, or they have expensive plugins that I'm not aware of and not at this point interested in buying.
Probably both. Both.
Yeah. I don't have the money to, do like several $1,000 plugins for things. I'll stick with the free ones for now and just be meticulous.
Get your craftsmanship up.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I of those tracks, anything in particular that you thought was just like the best, like the ones that you liked the best?
I mean, I'm probably most impressed by the black metal still.
That's honestly, I kind of was too. Like, even though it's like it took almost no effort to make it, it was just kind of just like, wow, this really just sounds like a song.
Yeah. And I guess Miss You I also liked a lot.
Okay,
That's
cool.
the other one I'd say, yeah.
I was really excited when I made that. I was like, I bet Steven's gonna like that one.
Yes,
like,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I was good though.
That's good. Yeah, no, it's exciting, man. It's exciting.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking
cool.
I was thinking about doing a black metal album at some point just for fun, because it's like I know how to make it now, and like, I mean, it's fucking fast picks on the guitars, a lot of drums, and then just scream at things.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what, just as long as it sounds sad and like everything's terrible. I mean, like those vocals, cause like if you listen to the unfinished black metal thing, which you don't have to because you already listened to it, but like it was basically like the first part before the fast drums came in, before I decided to actually like finish the song. And literally I was just like, well, what do black metal vocalists sing about? I was like, what do black metal bands sing about? I was just like, well, everything's terrible, everything's hopeless, there's no hope in this forest. I was like, oh, perfect, okay.
No hope.
Yeah, I will suffer and die in this forest of malice. There's no hope. I was like, perfect. There we go. Those are things a black metal band would say.
Yeah, that sounds like black metal to me. Yeah.
Excellent.
Frozen forest.
Yeah, I mean,
you need more cold imagery.
Well, I mean, I think for the next song, I'll have to talk about something about like being frozen, or being trapped under ice or something. Not literally trapped under ice, because that's a Metallica song, but
trapped under ice.
Trapped under ice.
All right.
Excellent.
Should we talk about some albums?
Let's fucking do it. All right. What you
You want to go first?
Yeah, well, okay, let me remember how do we do this podcast again? Let me remember how we do this podcast. So I recommended 2 This Town Needs Guns albums. So Animals and then Disappointment Island. And so the reason why I recommended these, so I you know me, I love math rock. Like math rock is absolutely one of my jams. And you know that I love, like, the kind of math rock that, like, American football does, the kind of, I guess it's called, like, Midwest emo, where it's, like, math rock plus, like, emo lyrics and stuff. And this is kind of, like, more to the math rocky side than American football is. But I obviously love that as a person that plays guitar and fucking loves this shit. So, like, these 2 albums, these are, like, absolutely my jam. And I feel like you do like math rock, so I think that you were going to like these albums. If I was to guess, I would say you probably liked Animals more, but we shall see. And then what did you recommend, Steven?
I recommended 10 by Cloud Dead, which is sort of an experimental hip-hop album. After you really liked Boards of Canada, I finally felt comfortable like recommending this album out, because I know you don't like hip-hop. And so I was never going to recommend this, but it's also very Boards of Canada-esque with all the samples they do. So I thought if there was ever a time to like give it a chance, I'd do it with this. And it sounds like you did like it, but I was unsure whether you would or not, and I still am technically. And then the other album is Flowers from Exile by Rome. It is one of my all-time favorite albums, probably. It's just like I like every song on it. It's a great listen, and I figured it'd be a nice counterpoint to Cloud Dead, just in case you like absolutely hated Cloud Dead for whatever reason. This at least is like just a good, solid piece of album.
Fair enough.
And I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem with Flowers from Exile. It's not like spectacularly amazing in any way, shape, or form, but it's a good, solid album.
Okay. So I think I probably want to end with Cloud Dead. Which might be showing my hand a little bit, but I want to end with Cloud. So why don't we start with Animals?
Sounds good.
So,
so I mean, when I first started listening to it and Chinchilla was on, I was kind of like, oh great, I'm in for like another At the Drive-In. Like the guitar is never gonna stop for a second album. And I was prepared to be bored, I guess, is what I was expecting. Because the first, like, Chinchilla, Baboon, are both, like, very high energy, very, like, they sounded like pure math rock to me, for the most part. But then I was pleasantly surprised by Lemur. I loved the vocals on it. And I feel like it's a little bit, it kind of goes more into proggy a little bit. It's a little more proggy.
Okay.
And I like that. For Chinchilla, especially Chinchilla was like, it sounded like every other math rock band I've ever heard, which is the style, right? It's like, of course it sounds like that. The Baboon was a little better, but again, it has like, it's the constant just like on Baboon 510 into the link you gave me of the whole album.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it just goes and it's like, okay, I get it. You can do that on your guitar. Congratulations. Like, I've heard it a million times. I'm good. I don't need to hear that again. And I wasn't a huge fan of the vocalist either at this point, listening to the album. It was, I don't know, what is it about his voice? Let me listen to this a little bit. It's like most of it is fun, but occasionally he goes into this, like, I want to see if I can find an example.
It's funny because people like are obsessed with this vocalist. Like
it's a very unique sounding voice to a certain extent, kind of. But like, yeah, I guess it's when he's going high that I'm not a biggest fan. I like when he goes a little lower.
I will say, just as an anecdotal thing, his voice is just in the range where it's hard for me to sing.
Oh,
because it's like he's in between like where my natural range is. Like I can sing above and I can sing below, but right where he is like in the exact uncomfortable part for my voice, where it's like I'm trying to transition between my head voice and my throat voice, and it's just like. I usually have to just pick. I'm just like, all right, I'm either just going to sing a little bit lower or sing a little bit higher while I'm singing along. But like, if I try to sing in his range, I'm just like, oh God, it's just like, it's so uncomfortable for my vocal cords.
Yeah. And so like 11:20, the Badger song, the start of the Badger song. I guess it's whenever he's like actually singing. I don't like it as much as when he's like singing. I don't know. That's a very personal comment. But yeah, I found the first four songs on this album pretty samey.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, sure, whatever. But then Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like the rest of the album's great.
Okay.
After that point, it's like there's this like really traditional math rock start to the album, and then it almost feels like they got bored of that sound. To a certain extent, and they're like, okay, we need to like mix it up a little bit and like do some more stuff, and it's like then I'm into it. What were some of the parts I really liked about Panda?
I will just say you nailed it for me, because I find, so I mean, I love this whole album, right? Like, I mean,
sure,
because I love math rock, and this is all very near and dear to my heart. But I find it very hard to discern the first like batch of songs until it gets to Panda. Panda's the first part where I'm just like, oh, this is this album.
Yeah, because they stopped doing the fucking math rock thing where they're just like, and it's like they slow down for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's still there, but it's
exactly,
it's understated.
Yeah, it's a boot do 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 boot do 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 instead of a they're not trilling it as much, I guess, as my orchestra training would tell me. But that's not the right word, I'm sure, for what the guitar is doing.
I mean, I think that they're still tapping, but it's not as aggressive.
Tapping, yes, it's not as aggressive tapping, and it moves more into like a Minus the Bear.
Yes, no, and Minus the Bear is very. I mean, especially early Minus the Bear is very like tappy, but it's melodic tappy, not just like craziness tappy.
Yeah, and oh man, yeah, in the middle of Panda where it's just like.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, and Panda's like the first time in the album where I feel like his voice is at its best.
Yes, yeah, and his voice is great in this one. Yeah,
he's kind of. I think people have described. I've heard this term used, and I think I'm using it correct. But he kind of like sings across the riff a little bit, where it's like the riff is kind of happening. He's just kind of holding these long notes over top of the riff, which I love that kind of that kind of sound to it.
Yeah, it's yeah, and he's holding the notes way better. Yeah, and the drums are just like fucking awesome. Yeah, and the end of Panda is really good. Yeah, I love Panda. It totally flipped me as soon as this song came on. It was like, oh great, okay, there's a reason Jason's recommending this, and it's not just
I'm glad.
Another math rock band. And then as soon as Panda ends, you get Elk, which is like a totally different direction, right?
Yes.
Like it's like almost like a weird like what's the trumpet genre?
Ska.
Yeah, almost like a ska-y, like not like, because ska can be very fanciful.
Wait, I mean, ska is a mix with reggae, is it not?
Yeah, it's very fanciful, but like it's that like just bringing in the trumpet and slowing it down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this song reminds me. I mean, just this little, because Elk is just kind of, it reminds me so much of American football.
Yes. Oh yeah. Definitely, 100%. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I love it.
It's easy for me to make those connections because I started listening to all of these bands around the same time. I was like, I discovered because I just started going down a rabbit hole of like all these math rock bands. I was like, I really like math rock. I should probably just find all the math rock that I like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Elk is great. Elk was like, I was like, okay, good. They can slow down. They can like take their time a little bit. They put a new instrument in, and there's no like tapping of guitars. Mm-hmm. At least. I mean, there is. I mean, it's math rock. There's lots of tapping, but it is appropriate tapping. I don't feel like it's like attacking me.
It's melodic.
Yeah. And it's not to say I don't like math rock, right? Like, I do. I love math rock.
I should hope you have at least some place in your heart for it, because you literally introduced me to it. So.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, for sure. But it's just like, I guess At the Drive-In, for me, is like the best math rock band ever, in my opinion. Because they're punk math rock.
Yeah, post-hardcore, yeah.
Post-hardcore, yeah. But like they haven't gotten to like the cringy level of post-hardcore yet.
Yeah. The cringy level of post-hardcore. It's going to be
exactly. Yeah, that exists.
Because I'm going to have to. There's a band that I really want you to listen to. I'm really on the fence if you're going to like them, but they're getting into the cringy side of post-hardcore a little bit. But they're really good, and they're also another math rocky post-hardcore band. So I'm going to recommend them to you at some point, but I'm very 50-50 on if you're going to like them. You're either going to get over the vocalist or you're not, and that's basically the end of it.
It's hard for me to get over vocalists.
I know it is. Which is why I was so happy that you liked my black metal thing. I was like, is Steven going to...
no, those were great, yeah.
I was like, is Steven going to like me as a black metal vocalist? It's like, oh yeah, you think he's fine with it.
Yeah.
I've got the Steven seal of approval.
Yeah. And then we go into Pig, which is great, and he does a lot more of the fast talky singing in this one, which I love. Mm-hmm. Pig is definitely a little more. It's back to sounding a little bit more like the first part of the album. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay with that at this point, right? Because it's not 4 songs back to back to back to back. I got a break with Elk, and so like I'm good for the tempo to come up a little bit. But I'd say Pig is relatively forgettable, I guess.
Really?
In the grand scheme of the album. It's a great song. But what's Gibbon?
Hang on.
Yeah, Gibbon's
I gotta get to the part.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, because Pig, Pig has that part where it's
what timestamp?
On Pig, it's hang on, it's
Just on the album.
yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's 25.59.
Oh, 25.59. Okay, I'm not there yet.
For you to come back. That part. So Pig is my favorite song on the album. So
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I adore that part. And this breakdown at 26:22 with the claps.
Oh, yeah, I do like this. I do like the bass line here a lot, yes.
I clap along. I clap along at home. I fucking love that part.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. This is good, but this is also like, this is like the outro of the Pig song. Almost.
I know, but like I guess it's just
It's like the song is done at that point.
I think it's his vocals on Pig are my favorite vocals on the whole album. They're the most fun to sing. He's singing mostly in his head voice, which works for me because that's mostly in my head voice, so it's all right. Like when he's singing in his normal range, that's in my uncomfortable range.
Yes.
But when he's singing higher, I'm like, oh cool, I can do that part.
Yeah, I do like the lyrics on this song. I do like the vocals, not the lyrics obviously because I don't know what those are. But,
you know, I mostly don't either. So
yeah,
I
good. Oh, you're with me now.
No, you'd be surprised how. Like, here's the thing, Steven. This is the difference between the two of us. I don't listen to lyrics either, but some songs it's impossible to not listen to the lyrics. I thought until I started talking to you about music again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then I realized, oh no, it is actually possible for you to ignore the most blatant of themes in a song.
Yeah, it's 100% possible.
Yeah, I underestimated the depths of your ability to not concentrate.
Yeah, and not even a little bit. Yeah, this sounds a lot like the start of the album to me. And so even though like that outro is banging and the lyrics are great, the vocals are great. It's math rock, and it kind of like my brain kind of is like, okay, got it. Like I'm gonna shut off now. I've heard taps done. Yeah. But then Gibbon starts very strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gibbon is a really nice one.
Yeah, and it's like the taps here are like almost muted. I feel like to a certain extent they don't like pierce through as well through the music. The drums really cover them in a way I enjoy. And then it has that nice little breakdown in the middle at like 29:30, which I love, which I absolutely love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
you love that. You love that whole like what is it? It's like the and of one type of like guitar stabs.
Yes.
Where it's
oh
like,
my god, yeah.
Duh,
Yes.
Duh, duh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you feel that way, the way that I feel about like Ride Bell in songs like dink dink dink.
Yeah, it's just oh my god, yeah, I do. I love this beat. And the lyrics here, not enough.
The lies without the give and the take. Yeah, no, it's good.
I love it when math rock bands slow down a little bit and like let their music breathe. That's really what I'm saying. Is
like groovy math rock.
Yeah, or you can be punky like at the drive-in and like scream at me. Right, like that kind of shit, and it's like great. I'm down for that too. But like, have I ever? Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is Star Slight by At the Drive-In from their Anaerobic Tenement album, just for people listening.
Yeah, and I have listened to At the Drive-In, but I will.
Yeah, and just like the first 10 seconds. Yeah, and I guess it's barely math rock. Yeah, but it's like, exactly. Yeah, I like it's aggressive and it's like it matches. Whereas this, like, I feel like the lyrics, the vocals, I gotta stop doing that. The vocals and like the brightness of the music and the darkness of the vocals are like they're contrasting, I guess, probably on purpose. But
absolutely,
it feels weird to me to have that contrast.
Oh, I mean, and I will say, I mean, and I'm sure you'll bring it up, but I feel like that's a pretty common theme of this band is sad lyrics, happy music.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Disappointment Island, I don't think, is in any way different in that regard. It's different in a lot of ways, but it's not different in that way.
Yeah, but it's like the timbre of his voice in Gibbon matches the song to me in a lot better ways.
Yeah, because the song is it's got a little bit of a darker tone to it.
Yes, exactly. And then Dog, if I'm remembering correctly, I did not like. Yes, because it's just math rock.
Mm-hmm. I can see why you would be less inclined on that one.
Yeah, it's still good. It's still pretty. I mean, I will say their bassist is great. Whoever their bassist is, he knows what he's doing. But I don't it's not. And again, it's not that it's bad, right? I'm not saying it's like, oh, these particular songs are not good. It's just like this song sounds like any number of things I've heard before. Whereas like, you know, Gibbon or Elk. Well, Elk still sounds like something I've heard before, but like it's new for the album, so I'm okay with that. Panda though is like it sounds fresh. I don't know. Freshness is very important to me when I'm listening to music. I don't like to listen to something that sounds like something else that I've listened to, unless it's something that I really, really like. In case,
well, I mean, yeah, you have listened to. I mean, we both listen to a shit ton of music, but I would say that you have listened to a tremendous amount of music. So I do understand that,
and still a tiny amount. It's still an infinitesimal amount of music.
Yes, we're not professional music critics, but like we've listened to so much music that we would be like, well, I mean, we currently are the world's shittiest, professional music critics.
Exactly.
Also, not professional because we don't get paid
professional
to do this,
amateur music critics.
If anybody, professional amateur music critics. That's probably a candidate for the title of this podcast.
Definitely.
So then, Crocodile.
Yeah, I like Crocodile.
Okay.
Again, because they slow down a little bit. This again. I don't want to keep saying minus the bear because that's not the band that I'm really. Dredge.
I mean, I would agree with minus the bear on this one.
Oh no,
also,
minus the bear is accurate, but I'm just saying
this is very American football, though.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Like this could have been on American Football EP1, and it wouldn't have even almost sounded like the vocalist a little bit. But I love Crocodile. I mean, it has some of the best best vibes of
and it reminds
this
me a
whole
little
album.
bit of oh my god, what is the one fucking band I'm trying to think of? Oh, brain. You know it too, I'm sure.
I probably do.
It's like Dredge and like minus the bear. Silius's Magic Car, that one.
Oh, Mew.
Thank you, Mew.
Yeah,
yes.
I could see that. I could see a little.
This reminds
Mew
me
in
a lot
this.
of Mew too.
Yeah, I mean he's
not
definitely
not every Mew album because they do some weird stuff. But
I mean they're all over the place. But yeah, I could see that.
Especially the end of Crocodile with like it's when it's the chime in particular that really like sets me off. It's like, oh yeah, this sounds like Mew. But yeah, I like all that. And then Rabbit. I don't have any notes here. 1 second. What is this song?
Rabbit is honestly it's funny because I think it's one of the longer songs on the album, and I think it's the most forgettable out of the entire thing. It's okay. It's my least favorite of the whole album, I think.
Yeah. The choir part at the end I like. Mm-hmm. Not choir, but like, you know,
the strings.
Yeah, ephemeral string stuff is cool. And then Zebra is a nice outro. I mean, nothing wrong with that outro. I love
Zebra as an outro.
Yeah, that's a good outro. I love Glockenspiel-esque sounding things. That's right there.
You want to know what I love? Mm-hmm. All of the animals are on the cover.
Oh well, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, of course they are. Yeah.
That's the most important.
And the Quetzal's the bird, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Quetzal's the bird. You got the chinchilla there off in the bottom right-hand corner. You know, he's just hanging out.
Oh, there. Oh, yeah. He's hiding behind the mini player button for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I think this song to like compare and contrast a little bit because I know we are going to talk about Disappointment Island. This album to me was like more up and down.
Okay.
But like it definitely had higher high points and lower low points for me. Whereas when we talk about Disappointment Island, I'm much more neutral toward most of that album.
Interesting. That's kind of what I suspected. But...
Yeah. Whereas this one, like, it's like I really don't like the first 4 songs that much. And then Panda and Elk and Pig and Gibbon are great. And then Dog is kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then they bring it back a little bit for Crocodile. And then Rabbit is fine.
I think this is going to mirror based on we did this with American Football. I had a feeling the way this was going to go. So that's kind of why I picked like if we had not done the American Football podcast, I would have guessed the opposite. But now that we did the American, and I think I have a better handle on where you're at, where your head's at. I was like, I bet you're gonna like Animals more, which is why I had to recommend it because I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna do these 2 albums, and it was, by the way, a huge toss up between Disappointment Island and 13.0.0.0.0.
Okay,
which is their sophomore album, and that one is really good too. But I think I like Disappointment Island more. Although I will say, all 3 of these albums are like, these are my online chess playing albums. This is what I put on in the background when I play chess. I found it very difficult to listen to these because they're so like in my brain, like we did in the last like couple podcasts where we talked about those albums that we've been listening to for a million years.
Yeah,
I've been listening to these albums for Yeah. I've been listening to these for what feels like a million years.
Yeah.
And they're so in my brain now, I have so much trouble like concentrating on them.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am with Flowers from Exile. It's an album I've listened to countless times, and it's just like it's all blended into one song for me. At a certain point, it's like I have a hard time distinguishing. Like, wait, is this song a song, or is this other song not? Have they started a song yet, or is this still the same song? I'm not sure.
So, thumbs up or thumbs down on Animals?
Thumbs up or thumb? Can I give like a thumbs up? Thumbs up on the second half of the album, and no thumbs either up or down for the first part of the album.
That's fair. You know what? Whatever thumb scale you feel is most appropriate.
So
go
like
for that.
0.75 thumb.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I really like Panda. That is a great song. And I think you sold me on Pig, honestly.
Okay.
And Gibbon is great. I like that one too a lot. Yeah, because it has the thing, and I can't resist the like.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? The one and?
Yeah, and of one guitar stabs.
And of one. Yeah, I can't resist those. Yeah, you could literally have a whole album of just those, and I would just rock out to it the whole time.
That's good to know. Maybe I'll try to produce another song that has or a new song that has little like and of one guitar stabs.
Yeah.
Fucking get you on board. There you go.
Yeah, good. I like it when math rock bands aren't just assaulting me with tapping. Mm-hmm. And they do a good job of that.
I feel like what this gives me is what I like, more of what I wanted out of Maps and Atlases, because Maps and Atlases gave me two albums that were really this. And this is just more of what I really like, because they started to go way more in a different direction, and it's fine, and I'm cool with growing as a musician and doing what you feel you want to do the most. Like I wanted math rock with lyrics, and this is math rock with lyrics, and I
Maps and
love
Atlases is so good. I totally, that's the other band I was trying to think of when I was talking about At the Drive-In.
I've seen him. I've seen him live. I talked to the singer. He's a fucking good guy. He's
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. And his voice is so good. God, he has such a good voice.
He's got an insane voice. Like,
yes,
I've
exactly.
just never heard anyone like it.
Oh my god, I have to listen to Maps and Atlases now. Yeah, fucking forgot how good that album is. Yeah. So I guess it's really the vocals that I think let me down for This Town Needs Guns.
That's so funny. Don't get to it yet, but I'm gonna be interested to hear what you thought about the vocals for Disappointment Island, because
definitely.
People were huge. I mean, even me, actually, honestly, when I first heard 13.1.1.1, which by the way is a reference to the Mayan calendar. It's like the new, like the end year, the new year of the Mayan calendar, whatever the fuck. It's got a picture of the Mayan calendar on it.
Oh, that's what this fucking wheel with 13,000 has been in my recommended every time I listen to these.
Yes.
I was wondering what that was. I was like,
that's a great album. The first track on that is I think possibly my favorite track by them, which is why I was having a really hard time with not recommending that
I'm
one.
To listen to it real quick.
Do it. Listen to Cat Fantastic, the first track on that.
Yeah.
Because it is absurdly good, but like...
Oh my god. They love doing that offbeat thing on this song.
Yes, they do.
It's like I can't bob my head to it because they keep like stopping for half a second.
But like even those opening lyrics, I just love them.
Yeah, I don't know. His lyrics are like, I mean, you were saying that people like are really impressed by his vocal work.
No. This is a different vocalist. They switched.
Oh, this is okay. Interesting.
People got very upset when they switched vocalists because the other guy quit.
Yeah, this vocalist is way less good. Although I do that part around 125 is pretty good though. He just sounds a lot like every other shoegaze singer that I've ever heard.
I have grown to prefer him as the vocalist for this band, but I had the exact same reaction when I first listened to this.
It's like if I had listened to this album when I was like 14, I would be like, "Oh my god, this is the fucking like most amazing thing ever. Holy shit. Oh my god." But it's like I've listened to Minus the Bear and Mew and Dredge and what's the other one? Who's the Chalet Lines? By Bell and Sebastian, and it's like I've heard. Ooh, I like this breakdown in the middle though. Ooh, and then they're going into like a little like slower part. Yeah.
I'm like changing your mind on the fly about this.
Well, yeah, I'm listening to it. And my mind's open. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I love when they slow down. What can I say? It's like I actually
this song
get to like
is so good. It's so good.
Ooh, yeah, and they've changed the beat now. It's a different time signature, I think. Right?
I have to get there. I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it is.
I mean, the time signature goes all over the place, so it's like...
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
The music.
I mean, if you look at the tabs for this, it's like 15/16 to 7/8 to 3/4 to 15/16. Like,
yeah. Ooh, yeah.
So it's like, has the time signature changed?
Yeah.
Yes, Steven. Every measure.
See, yes. See, they're using tapping right here from 320 on, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit more than 320, 325. Yeah. Where it's just like they're using it as an accent to the song.
Yeah, it's
not
melodic.
It's not the main guitar. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, which is why, and I think that Disappointment Island does a lot more of that than Animals does. Animals is much more straightforward math rock, but this album also is the same thing. It's much more melodic tapping.
Oh, good. Okay. Whew. Almost gave myself a heart attack there. I hadn't talked in a while, and so I was just looking at like a flat line, and I was like, wait, how long have I been muted for? But no, I'm good. It's all fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good song. It's definitely it's still pretty. It sounds a lot like a lot of other. I'm a broken record here, but it sounds a lot like a lot of other things I've heard. But it definitely has some highlights that I really enjoy. That was good.
The reason why I didn't recommend this album is because I felt like it was going to suffer from the same things that you thought American Football album 2 did, where it's like it's in the middle of the road. It's still too much of like it's not enough of either thing, right?
Yes.
Whereas Disappointment Island leans much heavier into the melodic, I think, and we'll get into that. But like, I think it leans much heavier into the melodic, which is why I was like, if there's a chance you're going to have a more of an opinion on it, but I think you've already kind of played your hand on that one, so that's fine. But let's segue into Flowers from Exile, because I think that you've kind of segued me nicely into this a little bit.
Yeah, let's do
because
it.
speaking of vocalists that I'm not sure I'm 100% sold on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know, man. Like I
mean, so I'll say this about Rome.
Go for it.
It is very easy to sing along with this album.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when he's talking English, obviously. I mean, yeah, when there's the German overdub happening, yeah, of course you don't sing along to that, but that's because that's a recording of a German guy talking, or a Romanian guy, depending on what part of the album you're at.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a very good vocalist, if I'm going to be completely honest here. I think he's a very middle-of-the-road vocalist, and I appreciate that about his singing.
I just don't love his delivery, and I think that's going to be a taste thing, but I'm just kind of like, I don't care, like... It sounds like here's the big punchline, right? It's very interesting that you recommended these two albums to me at this exact point in time that you recommended me, because 6 months ago, if you'd recommended these same two albums, I think I would have had exactly opposite opinions.
Well, that's good, because ultimately, Rome, Flowers from Exile is a way worse album than 10 by Cloud Dead. So
yeah. I think
great.
I 100% agree with that. Like, yeah.
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
With listening to this album again in full and not just listening to individual songs again, I was faced with the reality that, like, this is a very boring album to a certain extent, musically.
Yeah.
There's very little happening musically. I just happen to really like the aesthetic, and so if you didn't like the aesthetic, then I totally understand not liking it, because that's all there is to a certain extent.
So let me take you on a journey here.
Yes,
right?
please do.
Because the first time that I listened to this, right, I was like, okay. I was like, I guess. I was like, this is a thing that I've listened to. And I wasn't really into it. Like, there was a couple points, like, I found Odessa, like, it woke me up a little bit. I was like, oh, Odessa, okay. Because, like, the way that they have the, I have to get to the point. I mean, I guess it's kind of throughout.
Yeah, the ba.
No, that wasn't really it. It's just it's kind of like soft singing with like this very very deep undertone of like this very like virulent and like venomous like kind of like screaming like political speech in a different language underneath it. I found that very affecting, and like I don't think it's possible to not find that affecting.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that part. And then I went to sleep again, and I woke back up again at To Die Among Strangers, which again is a tough one to not pay attention to because it's got such a vibe to it. Mm-hmm. Like,
yes,
if I get to really just starting in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like a political speech.
Yeah, starting at 2140, I guess.
You understand
it's
what
like,
the album is like about generally, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's about like fascism basically.
Well, it's specifically, it is, every one of their albums is based off like a real historical event.
Yeah, I know this one specifically is about something.
The Spanish Civil War.
Okay, got it.
This is the fascists and the communists in the Spanish Civil War, yeah.
Got it. But like, yeah, around 2140, like in the album, and so that's on To Die Among Strangers, like that like driving like acoustic guitar thing with like the, you know, like the stomping bass drum, like
yes.
Like bass drum, snare, bass drum. It's like, I mean, it's extremely affecting. Like there's no way to not pay attention there, right?
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, it's so good.
But I like that was it, right? Like I was like, maybe that's the whole album for me, you know? I will say on subsequent listens, I don't agree with my previous self. I think that I do say that Odessa is the real start of this album. Like until you get to Odessa, I still don't really care. Like it's like the first song obviously is just an intro. Yeah. That's fine. So throw that away. Accidents of Gesture is whatever. Like it's okay. I'm not in love with it. It's okay. That's all I have to say.
Even like the part where he's like, oh, and then it's just like, what's
the timestamp?
3:50, I think exactly.
Oh. No, see, here's the thing. So, and I'll say a general comment about this album is I felt like this was very Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Oh, it's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah, okay.
And I don't like, kind of like you're over certain genres. Mm-hmm. I'm over post-rock.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's that's fine. Post-rock has a gimmick.
Yeah, and this album is extremely post-rocky to me, which I know it's not post-rock. I know it's some form of folk music that I don't understand.
Yeah, it's neo-folk.
It's
neo-folk.
Neo-folk, yeah. And I don't understand that genre at all. This is the first band that I've heard from that genre. So
that's good. Don't listen to any more neo-folk.
Okay, this is I have no point of reference.
Yeah, you know how we like. I don't remember if we did a disclaimer when we were talking about the black metal stuff.
Okay.
And like fascism.
Okay.
But in much the same way, neo-folk is to a large degree fascist.
Really? Because this is very German, explicitly anti-fascist.
Well, this is a German neo-folk band, and their first album is Mossmenschen Material, and it's a very heavy German stuff. I will say they do talk a lot about fascism, but the lead singer, like the band leader, is explicitly not fascist. Like he's gone on record to be like, no, I'm liberal. Like I'm not. I just like the sound and the ideas, and I like the history, but like I'm not fascist in any way. Like fuck Nazis. But you know, if you're gonna listen to neo-folk, be prepared for some of those bands to probably be made of Nazis, and you maybe shouldn't listen to them. So
okay, fair enough. Yeah, because I understood that this is being a very explicitly like anti-fascist album.
Yes, because it's about the communists in the Spanish Civil War, so it is very explicitly anti-fascist.
So I mean, like, and like that came across, right? Like this felt very much like a like some type of. I mean, this is a concept album, obviously.
Yes.
And this is very much felt like an anti-fascist concept album to me. So I guess my general thing on this is that on subsequent listens, I feel like this album is Odessa through Flowers from Exile.
I mean, sure, yes. The album is the majority of the album. I do agree with that.
I don't generally care.
Flight Information does not count, obviously, yeah. And
Flight Information doesn't really count.
And To Generation Restores are the intro songs. Yeah, I mean, yes. Odessa to Flowers from Exile is the album. Yeah,
I was going to be way less generous to this album initially, where I was going to say it's Odessa and To Die Among Strangers. But on subsequent listens, I feel like, so I mean, the intro tracks to each relevant section, right?
Yes.
Are whatever, but that's fine.
Yeah, they are. I agree. Yeah, they are whatever.
I definitely latched on to A Legacy of Unrest way more on subsequent listens than I did initially, which is weird because like in listening to it now, like I love that kind of like doom doom da da like I guess like I don't know, I was in the wrong headspace or something.
Yeah,
where
well,
I just
it's also-
wasn't really listening.
Listening to the whole album at once does not do it any good. Does not do it a service.
Yeah, I don't love it as a concept album.
It's
honestly.
not a great album. They have wonderful songs, and if you listen to just a song here or there, it's awesome. But
I can
you
see
get,
that.
you get a little. The sound is not totally differentiated around the whole album, and so like I found to myself, I was like, oh man, right, I forgot that this album is like it's just like guitar strumming with vocals the whole time, 100% of the time, and that got a little boring. I'm like, you know how I am.
I do know how you are, which is why I was surprised you even recommended this album to me.
But this album is so. I get a lot of emotion from this guy when he's singing. I don't know.
It's funny. On the first listen, I really didn't, but I could see it in subsequent listens. Like I said, like this album grew on me a lot more than I expected it to. I still don't love it, but I appreciate it a shit ton more than the first time. First time I listened to it, I was ready to roast this album. I'd be like, this sucks.
Yeah, because musically it's kind of shitty.
It's not as shitty as I thought it was, right? Like on my first listen, I was like, this sucks. This guy sucks as a vocalist. This is just boring fucking like this is just a knockoff of F sharp A sharp to infinity from from Godspeed You Black Emperor, and I don't care, and this is dumb, and I hate it. But it's not, and I was wrong, and I really just gave this album way too hard of a time. But like every time I listened to it again, I liked it more. So good on them, right?
Yeah,
good on them. I feel like there's a lot of these tracks on here that I guess I just like because the album is very. It has a lot of sameness. You need time to kind of pick apart the stuff that's interesting. Yeah. Like I completely ignored We Who Fell in Love with the Sea.
Oh, that's literally I'm listening to it in the background right now because how much I love that song. Yeah.
And it's a great song. I just like it didn't even register with me. It didn't cross my threshold of like this is music that I'm listening to. And I'll be honest, I don't love that thing that he's doing where he's just kind of like talking like over like the riff.
Oh, like, that's like I love
it's that. Okay. It's okay. It works for the song. I feel like there could have been something else there. It could have been done. I don't know. I don't love it. But I love the guitar riff and I love the like the swelling strings in there. And I think a lot of these tracks are really affecting. But yeah, it took me some time to grow on me because it really this is not a love at first sight album in the same way that some of the other albums
But I also will say for Rome in general, I think this is probably one of their least rated out, like their lowest rated albums, Flowers from Exile, if I remember correctly. Like this is like collectively people agree this is one of their worst albums.
Interesting.
And so like I would have been better served by like doing Massamentia Material or maybe one of their newest albums where things are a little more dynamic and they do a little more industrial stuff. But I don't want to like be disingenuous to my own opinions.
No,
right?
I mean that's not the point of this whole thing that we're doing.
It's not the point of the podcast. So it's like Flowers from Exile is my favorite album by them. Like it's not their best musically, but like it's the one that like makes me feel the most when I listen to it. It's just so sad.
It's very sad.
The whole album is so sad, and it's just I really love sad guitar music, I guess.
You do,
because I mean, Log is one of my favorite bands too. So I mean,
you know, we both share a very deep seated love for Log and wish they would make more albums.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're so good.
I mean, North is a masterpiece.
It is.
Like it's the saddest album in the world.
Yeah,
like
it's so sad.
Like
it's
I mean, because
great.
I made that one song, right? The whatever the fuck it's called, Your House Is Just a Place, which was heavily inspired by North.
Yeah.
It's just like I basically when I sat down to write that song, I was like, how can I write the most depressing lyrics I can possibly think of
and put it to music that also makes you feel terrible.
Yeah, like how can I make the music make you sad and the lyrics make you sad and my voice make you sad? Like how can I just make you feel bad as much as possible?
We should do just like do all of Log's albums on one of these.
Yeah, I mean I
would love to talk about that.
Either as a palate cleanser, I definitely want to do. First of all, I want to do a Devin Townsend.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because I have to. we have to talk about Devin Townsend. He's my
great.
number one favorite vocalist of all time.
Probably one of the bands that I have listened to for the longest. It's like I listened to him, Devin Townsend, back when I was using Yahoo music videos to watch music videos. Back when I was like 12, I watched Devin Townsend music. Strapping Young Lad, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
And I still listen to Devin Townsend. So that's
incredible.
Many decades.
He is the biggest, for me, as a vocalist, he's the biggest inspiration in terms of what he's capable of doing with his voice.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to him, I'm just like, God, how does this fucking guy do it? He's a genius.
He also did he was in another band, right?
He's been in many bands. He was in Striking on Lad, Devin Townsend Project. He was in Casualties of Cool.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Mr. Bungle. Have I ever made you listen to Mr. Bungle?
I've listened to some Mr. Bungle. I am not as into Mr. Bungle as you are.
Yeah, so my point though, just to get around the Mr. Bungle discussion, is Mike Patton is my inspiration when it comes to vocals.
Is also an incredible vocalist. I am not as into his sound as I am Devin. Because Devin Townsend is very operatic and very over the top. Mr. Bungle is very soundscape and weirdness, which is cool.
That's just Mr. Bungle though, because he was also in Faith No More, and he also did literal opera stuff.
I know, and his opera stuff is great. I mean, Mike Patton is a great vocalist. Let's
we're comparing
not mince words.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is my favorite Faith No More album is the one where he had basically no creative input and he just sung on it.
Yeah,
which was the first one that he was on, the one that has
the song.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Because once he
the
started
first
having
Faith No More song you'll find. Epic, right? Yeah,
epic.
Epic.
Yeah. Epic, and actually, I mean, really that whole album, but
so bad.
Yeah, The Real Thing. I mean, even The Real Thing is a great I think that he is almost at his best on that album because he's not doing his thing. He's just singing really incredibly, and I'm much more into that from him than him just doing his kind of weird, crazy vocals.
Yeah. Ultimately, Mike Patton is a little pretentious, I guess I would say, to a certain degree.
I think Mike Patton might be a little bit up Mike Patton's own ass, but that's fine.
To a certain extent. He did do an entire album of porn sounds. And so you have to be a little bit up your own ass to do that. Just a little bit.
Yeah. He's something, all right.
Whereas, I love him though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Devin Townsend is one of the most humble people I've ever. I mean, his he's had some podcasts that I've listened to as well. And I mean, he's the most chill dude in the the Yeah.
He almost goes too far the other way for me. He's too normal. I want a little weirdness in my musicians. He's I feel like he's a dad who you would
that's
sit
what
down
I love
and have
about
a beer
him.
with.
He's this incredible musician, and he's just I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing, and I'm Devin Townsend, you're the best. Him and Ulver are huge inspirations for me. Of no, you don't have to have a genre. When I've been making all this stuff, right? I'm should I try to make certain genres? And I'm no, I should try to make all genres. Fuck that. I'm gonna make every genre of music ever made.
Genre.
Yeah, every genre. Just make all the genres. They said, hey, Jason, what genre do you want to make? And I said, yes. But yeah, so I very interesting that you recommended this album to me because I could have seen myself 6 months ago just absolutely gushing over this. And now I'm just kind of eh. Although that being said, Flowers from Exile, I kind of wish the album had ended there.
It does.
Okay.
It does. Flight Information does not exist as far as I'm concerned. I never listened to it. It doesn't. It is an outro song. I don't consider it. It's like the end of the previous Zebra. It's that's an outro song. It's great, but the album's done at that point, and they're just playing you off.
Because it feels I feel like this is the point in the album where I like him the most as a vocalist.
Yeah, I think he's trying the most here.
And it's the way that the guitar is kind of almost on one I don't know how to describe.
His voice and the guitar merge into a single sound. Is that what you're saying? Because that's how
it's almost like there's at slightly different time signatures. It's the guitar is playing kind of one thing and he's kind of singing. It's like the guitar is playing 3 measures and he's singing 2.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm probably describing that wrong, but I just like it's like because it's like they kind of like drift from each other, and then like there's like that little pause around 3613, and then they come back together again, and then it's just kind of like this. It's you know it's almost like counterpoint. I know it's not counterpoint. Like
no, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, 100%. Yes, it is. It is. It feels like a natural separation and like join. Yeah, I don't know if that like lines up with what you're saying or not, but I do like I'm listening to that part now, and it's very like melodically like satisfying.
Right? Melodic. That's a good way to describe it. It's melodically satisfying.
Just like it's like it's you know it's tension and release. It's like it tenses for like a fraction of a second, not enough for you to even feel it really, and then it releases it immediately, and it's just like
I don't know if you. I mean, I know we kind of went through some of this stuff quickly. I don't know if you noticed, but like in that like the kind of like the chill hop song that I made, on purpose, well, I didn't really on purpose. I ended up keeping it because it was on purpose, worked out very nicely. But I was kind of allowing the drums to sort of come in and out at their own times in that song.
I did actually notice that. I wasn't going to say anything, but I was going to I wasn't sure how to say it. I was like, did you get your timing right on this one?
I on purpose let the drums, go in and out. And then there was a point in the song where I let them come out, and then the piano and the drums start back up again together. And this did the same thing where it's like they're kind of like drifting back and forth between each other, and then it stops, and then they come back together. It's like I didn't realize how much I love that, but I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I mean, tension and release is such a like basic part of music. I mean, it's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that if I took anything away from this album, I do really love. I still go back to Odessa as being one of the most affecting tracks off. I like a bunch of the tracks off this album, more than I thought that I was going to. But I liked Odessa right away, and I like it because like that softness with like that very like angry fucking like like hateful fucking shit in the background. Like there's something about that, like it feels very defiant in a way.
Yeah.
And I really, it's extremely like, it just like, it that makes you feel things. And like, if an album makes you feel things, they're probably doing something right. And so the fact that there was a track that I was like, oh, wow, that's a real vibe, like I like that. I think that
was the reason I recommended it. Is this album makes me feel like it's a real, just like, I get the emotional vibe that's coming across in a way that like when I'm listening to like Animals, for instance, right?
Yeah.
It's like whatever sad vibe is trying to become across there in Animals, it does not emotionally reach me.
Yeah.
Because there's too much like math happening. Except for a couple of the songs.
I can't see the emotion through the math.
Yeah, I just can't. Yeah. And most music does not touch me emotionally. And so when I do find something and it's like, oh wow, I'm like getting a little teary-eyed listening to this song. Like I'm like that's special.
Understandable. Well, yeah. So, I mean, I would give this a thumbs maybe.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I don't think it's the most musically interesting thing they've done, but it has heart.
I will say
there's some heart there.
I do love the album cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it's so
thumbs
good.
up on the album cover.
and I do love that it's like it's ultimately all historical like stuff. It's like this like. They're singing about things that happened that are like, for the most part, I didn't know about a lot of this stuff when I started listening to their albums. I didn't know about the Spanish Civil War. I didn't know that happened.
I mean, right? I certainly didn't look it up, so.
Yeah, it's really like it happened like right before World War II, and like that's what the reason Spain was not in World War II is because they like tore their country apart fighting between fascists and communists.
Today I learned, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's just like I didn't know about Rhodesia. I didn't know about any of that shit. So it's cool. I like that. I like that they're like a historical folk band as well.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Disappointment Island.
Yes. So yeah, this album felt a little bit. It wasn't as math rocky for sure. Mm-hmm. First off, but in having that be the case, it also steered even harder into shoegaze for me.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And those are well-trod grounds. And so I didn't find it as like, it was certainly good. It was enjoyable, but I didn't really I wasn't learning anything new about music that makes any sense. It was like, yes, you can do that. Yep, you can do that too. Yeah, oh, yep, yeah, you can sing like that in that way with that chord structure behind you, and it sounds like that. And I've heard that before in another album from another band. And so like I liked it, but I don't know. I have less songs that I want to like point out as like, oh my god, I really liked this song. Because on Animals, like, you know, I really, really liked Panda. I thought that like that weird like tension between math rock and shoegaze was like interesting. Whereas here it's like, you know, like the first song, Coconut Crab. It's like, it's like he's doing like he's sliding a lot, and like, you know, the vocals are like also sliding constantly, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's, you know, if they're turning what knob on your synthesizer would it be? In the, not the gain or whatever, but,
like the pitch?
The pitch. It's like a pitch knob is going up and down, and it's like, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I can say about that is I do feel like this album is a bit of comfort food for me. So the fact that you're saying that does not surprise me. I think of this album as like, I love having this album on in the background, like, because I like basically every song on it, and it's there's not too much in terms of peaks and valleys, right? Like, it's just like every song on this,
exactly. Like, yes, I guess in a way, Animals was worse of an album, but because of that fact, the unevenness really brought those other songs to the forefront for me. Whereas here, I have less to say about it, almost because it's like, yes, these are all good shoegaze songs, and they were all good.
You can see why I had to recommend both.
Yes, 100%. This is a very interesting evolution.
Yeah,
of their sound. I'm assuming this is a later album.
Yeah, this is their last album that they made.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
They're eventually, hopefully, they're going to eventually make more albums, but this is the last one that they at least have made so far.
2016 or something.
2016, yeah.
Boom! I didn't even look it up. Oh, I guess it says literally here on the.
It literally says
on the
so
YouTube,
maybe
but
subconsciously you do.
Maybe subconsciously, but I didn't look it up. Like, I just like, this sounds like 2016 to me. Now, you know, having said all that, there still are songs that I really like on this album. In fact, the second song on the album, A Chase of Sorts.
Yeah,
I love it. That's great.
It is good.
I think maybe it's doing a little bit of the and one bit to a certain extent, or something very close to that, with like the dings, the like little like ding ding. It's that like offbeatness. It happens very early. Like 4:15 probably. A little bit after that, I guess.
Let me listen.
Yeah, 4:6. Yeah, 4:15. Yeah, that's exact. There's like dings.
Yeah. Ding ding.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't take a lot for me to really like a song, but I need that little like unique touch for me to really be like, oh yeah, I like that. And I love the singing on it. I mean, the singing is great upon the whole album, but I really like the way he goes deep on this song a lot. Mm-hmm. And obviously he's doing a lot of the whining.
I really like Henry. Henry's the vocalist on this, and I really like Henry Tremaine. I really like him as a vocalist. Like, I feel like people really shit on him when he first joined the band, and part of this album, I feel like, is almost partially like a feeling of that, because this album is by the way, a huge downer. If you like actually read any of the lyrics, it's an enormous downer.
It sounds melancholic, but it sounds like kind of like a hopeful melancholy, not a. I guess the album picture is quite vivid, though. Now that I'm really like looking at it through that lens, just two things screaming with a crying ghost.
Yeah, I mean, In Praise of Idleness is, I feel like, might partially be like a response to that feeling of like, do I even belong in this band type of thing.
Oh wow.
You know, it's like, you know, does the group benefit if I quit, you know, type of thing. I mean,
In Praise of Idleness, is that title.
I mean, it is like, I mean, if you read the lyrics, I mean, it's pretty clearly about like, I think, suicide, but like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
This is this is an album that I think is very largely about death and suicide, and it's pretty fucking heavy for how it sounds on a first listen.
Yeah. So yeah, Consoling Ghosts was fine, I guess. It in the exact opposite way where I liked them taking their time. Now that they're not just doing math rock picking, I like the higher tempo stuff.
You just can't be pleased, can you, Steven?
No, I cannot be pleased. I am a constantly bouncing ping pong ball.
You just refuse. You just refuse to take a stance.
Yeah, I like very specific things in very specific ways, and I'm not going to compromise. And so, yeah, controlling ghosts in Praise of Idleness. I like the singing, I guess, to this whole album, ultimately. I liked it a lot better than Animals.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. I mean, like, I also now do, but, like, people have been
are stupid.
Agreed, right?
If you know anything about anything, whenever you read a highly, like, upvoted, liked, tweeted post, right? And you're just like, oh my god, that person is wrong, and everyone thinks they're right. And you're just like, ugh. It's like, no matter what it is, like, the first few opinions are always just like, oh, this is stupid. Like, these people don't know what they're talking about. But they sound smart. So,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Praise of Idleness is like, again, I don't feel like there's a lot of movement, I guess. That's my problem with a lot of these tracks, is like, they do the thing that I hate that electronica sometimes does, with the exception of minimalist bands who do it on purpose, is like, they figure out a good guitar lick, and like, that's the song. It's like, in Praise of Idleness, I feel like, kind of starts with this like rolling drum beat and, you know, the guitar lick, and like, I can click through the song. I guess it's really the drum work is kind of boring in some of these songs, is my problem. That's really
it's
what it
definitely
comes down
de-emphasized from Animals, where it's, I mean, Animals is frantic.
And where'd the bassist go?
Well, the vocalist is now the bassist. And by the way, he's an amazing bassist, but he's also got a shit ton of a job to do now.
Yeah. He's not as funky as the first bassist. I don't know technically if he's better or not, but I don't feel the funk coming through as much anymore.
No, I think that this and the previous album both like really changed the sound of the band. And I think towards a poppier direction, which
yes. Yeah, I agree with that, which is probably exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, if you watch him play, I mean, he's fucking going
it's technically amazing. I'm sure. I'm just to the ear.
I think what the thing is he's doing a lot of the tapping.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're probably some of the things you're hearing as guitar might actually just be up top on the bass and tapping.
Wow. That's crazy. But I don't have the ear for that, so I can't appreciate it ultimately. But
I will say that I feel like In Praise of Idleness is where this album really, like, I like Coconut Crab as an intro, but like In Praise of Idleness and then Whatever Whenever.
Oh, okay, good. I'm about to say, because for me, Whatever Whenever is where the album starts. Because that's
a great track.
That is a great track. Yeah, no, like, you have to be brain dead not to love this one. It's great. But I find
this just
I don't like those three middle ones, I guess, between them.
Yeah. Between which
Coconut
one?
Crab and Whatever Whenever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like Praise of
Ghosts.
Idleness just because it's such a fucking downer song.
Yeah, and I don't listen to lyrics, so I'm losing that anyway. So that makes sense. But I'm sure if I read the lyrics, I would appreciate it more.
What I like about this album, for me, is it's like eminently singable. Like,
really eminently singable. These vocals are insane.
But like he's not. His range is pretty, like, he's staying in a pretty reasonable range when he sings. I don't really know the lyrics, but like I just kind of like, you know, bullshit my way along through them as I'm like listening to them. But like I absolutely find myself
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is not a reasonable range. This is like
so?
My range. No, I can't sing. Yeah, okay, you're a better singer than me, I guess. That's what it is. That's why.
Well, okay, fair enough. Maybe I shouldn't comment.
Yeah, to me, Rome is eminently singable because it's just the same exact tone the whole way through.
Maybe the thing is because Henry
like
and
insane.
I think have the same like the same general like comfortable range. Like this is so in my comfortable range. Like I can sing this no problem because it's like I think we have a very similar like timbre possibly in our vocal cords, a formant, if you will, I believe is the technical term.
Fancy.
Yeah. Actually, that's something, by the way, just not to digress too much, but that's something that because I had sent you an initial version of that hyperpop song, and then I learned something called formant shift, which is basically you change, like, from an electronic perspective, you're changing the timbre of the voice. And once I fixed that, the vocals went from like literal chipmunk to still chipmunk, but sounds good chipmunk.
Yes. I see. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I learned about formants. I had never heard about those. Now I know. But yeah, no, I love the breakdown starting at 1723, where it's like losing the taste for living. And then like the drum groove.
Yeah. The drums are way better on this song as well.
Oh, it's so fucking good here.
Yeah. This is just this song in particular is just like, I wish the whole album was up to this, because this is so great.
Yeah. This song, and then I'll see if you identify my other
Destroy the Tabernacle?
No.
Oh.
There's no I in time.
Oh, okay.
There's no I in time. fucking rocks my socks. That is, I think, my favorite TTNG album. It was between a song rather. It's between that and Cat Fantastic, but I think There's No Eye in Time edges it out very, very slightly for just being an absolute banger for me.
Yeah, no, Eye in Time is really good. I have to, yeah, it is good. Just don't. It's a little. I don't like their slow stuff as much on this album. I know.
I'll have to tell you the point in that album because it's I guess it's the chorus. Yeah, 2742.
Yeah, I do like their I do love the elimination of all the other instrument thing.
And that little guitar thing where that little slide, it's like sing 'cause we die, there is no one alive.
Yeah.
And that little that little slide. I love that. Terrify your eyes, fright out the zeitgeist. I love that line. I love that line. I don't know what it is about. It's just because I guess it's so alliterative. And then the little oh god, dude. I will listen to that song on repeat just for that little bit because it just does it for me. I don't know what it is about it. Well, I know what it is, but it's that part.
Yeah.
It's funny because actually Destroy the Tabernacle, I have to thumb through it, but actually I think that's maybe not one of my favorite songs on the album.
I love it. It's the first song that has funky bass.
It does.
Sorry, I love me some funky bass.
You do.
And they go off key too, which also know that I love from Ekelin.
You do love that. Yeah, actually that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not as keen on it. It's okay, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I off key is we're about to talk about Cloud Dead, so
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so Destroy the Tabernacle is probably Whatever Whenever, Destroy the Tabernacle, Coconut Crab I also like a lot. Those are the standouts to me. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot how much Stand Now, Make Maps. Just
What about
Empty
Oh my
god.
Bombs?
Oh, the vocals are so good on this song. Yeah, I forgot how good it is. It actually sounds like Mr. Bungle. Like a punky not Mr. Bungle, Ekelin. Oh my god, this song bangs. This is my favorite song on the album, I think. Yeah.
Destroy the Tabernacle?
Yeah, Destroy the Tabernacle.
That's so
this is very punky to me. Oh yeah, and it's all off key, and it's just yeah. I forgot how much I like this one. This to me is the high point of the album for sure. Maybe I might like this more than any other track on Animals, even Panda, ultimately. Just because
I have to listen to more of it. I mean, it is the most different track on the album.
I gotta
for sure.
say, yeah, it doesn't sound like the same band. It's I want to listen to more of this, whatever band this is. Whoever in the band got a chance to write finally a piece of music,
this is the Ringo track.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Ringo track, and I'm down for the Ringo track.
Hey guys, I'd like to write a song.
Yeah, it's Destroy the Tabernacle.
Okay, Ringo, sure, whatever you'd like. It's about an octopus in his garden. It's of course it is, Ringo. Oh, of course it is. We're gonna put it right up here on the refrigerator.
Yeah,
I know Family Guy did that joke, but I'm doing it again. So
that's
here it
fine.
is.
It's an old joke. Yeah, that's a great one. And then, immediately, just listen to Spunkless Notch after listening to Destroy the Tabernacle, and I feel like a whole layer of sound has dropped out. The bottom of the song, the bottom of the album has just gone. There was a bottom for a little bit, and oh look, there's no bottom anymore all of a sudden. Yeah, and I like a bottom. I like a good big bottom on my song. I like them thick, that's what I'm saying here.
Oh, Jesus. There it is.
But it's important. It's just the bass line is very important to a song.
The bass line is very... You know what, Steven? You just made a bunch of bassists very happy.
Yeah, and it's the song before this, There's No Eye in Time, which I know you like, I'm sorry, but again, no bottom. Bliss Quest, no bottom. But Whatever, Whenever, look at that. There's a bottom there. It's I feel the pressure in my ears all of a sudden, I guess.
There you go.
So
you gotta have that bass. You're all about that bass. No trouble.
God damn it. So yeah. Empty Palms is a fine outro to the album too. I don't have any particular to say about it though, I guess.
It's the lyrics.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm terrible.
It's best we part. I am broken and no good for you. It's so it's just I find it very affecting, Yeah,
let me read them real quick. I'm sorry. I'm glad I don't read lyrics to songs because I could not take that song seriously. It's too emotionally charged.
Oh, this entire album is you know me. I love sad music. So this is Downer album 101.
I'm glad I don't read the lyrics to these songs because that was I just started laughing. It's probably not. I like my other reaction more. We're enjoying it. Yeah. This is
where is that part though?
What part?
I'm trying to find that. actual.
Yeah, I'm sure it's sung beautifully is the thing.
Yeah, I think it's around 39:17, a little bit farther, 39, 39:30.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, cool.
And then the drums come in. It's like,
It's
just so emo and sad sacky and like, I mean, like, I eat that shit up, dude.
Yeah,
like, I mean, like, I'm an emo kid. Like, I've always been, and I always will be. Like, you know.
To me, it's just like, yep, cool. Like, these are emotions I felt briefly, like 20 years ago. Less than that, 15, I guess. But like,
I was about to say, I was like,
15 years ago.
I know you're getting old, Steven. You're not that old
yet. Yeah. Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Now we're really fucking dating ourselves. Nobody fucking says that shit anymore. But yeah, man. Okay, so between this, so you liked Animals more than this.
Yes, but I liked Destroy the Tabernacle the best, I think, out of all of the songs.
I guess between the two albums, which one would you be more likely to listen to in the background?
Oh, definitely Disappointment Island.
Okay, see, and then there we go. That's the answer.
Yeah. Oh, no question. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like I like Animals. But if I'm playing chess online, I'm much more likely to throw either this or 13.0.0.0
yes, this is,
on.
Yeah, I am judging these albums as like active listening.
That's totally fine. I understand that. Yeah. This is absolute. I like this album. This is my favorite album by them. I think edging 13 out by a very narrow margin. But I think that Animals is maybe the better album of all of them.
Yes, I think it is. I think musically it's better, but this one is definitely a better background album.
Yeah, I would rather listen to this, and so therefore I like it more. But I think Animals is the better. So I couldn't separate these. The only choice was Animals, and which one between 13 or this was going to be the one. And I chose
I'm glad
this.
You chose this.
Yeah, because there's no I in Time. It rocks. I love it. And you got Destroy the Tabernacle, so everybody wins.
Exactly, yeah, which I really like. I think that's a great song. It's like it's like it sounds like 3. Have I ever made you listen to 3?
Steven, I love 3.
Yeah, okay, good, yeah, okay.
I've listened to every album by 3, including their like re-release, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Did you
like
where they listen to their live album?
Well, they did re-releases of a bunch of their songs where like they re-recorded them, and they're all amazing. I wish fucking like Steven, I have a guitar tune specifically for playing 3 songs because I love like Joey Eppard so much.
Yeah, dude, he is. Yeah, that whole thing is fucking amazing. 3 is so good.
Fucking what is it? Bedroom in Hell is one of my favorite songs to just like bust out a guitar and play.
And fucking Alive All Right, and like just fucking, and the entirety of their concept album is so good.
No, they're amazing. I love his style. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on 3, and perhaps we should at some point.
They are like the ultimate jam band.
Yeah, they just like, they're so fucking funky. Yeah, and I love his guitar technique. Is kind of like, he's almost like semi-flamenco style guitar technique is just, oh god. I've learned so many of his songs, like, I mean, like Dive. Oh god. Yeah. God, he's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know how we got on that topic, but yes.
That's okay. It's a different that's a whole podcast. That's a whole podcast about how much I love fucking Joey Eppard and how good of a guitarist he is.
So good. Oh.
But shall we talk about Cloud Dead?
Yes, let's. What did you think of Cloud Dead? This is, I think, yes.
Obviously, I chose this to be the ending, you know, because I like this. If you had recommended this album to me, like I said, 6 months ago, I don't know that I would have understood how much I should like this.
Yes. Good. I'm glad. I knew after you listened to Boards of Canada and you liked it a lot, I was like, oh, and then you liked, Jay Dilla a lot. And I was like, oh, wait, he likes Boards of Canada and Jay Dilla? Oh, he understands. He understands now.
This is not like Jay Dilla, but it is.
No, yeah, but yes, exactly, yes. It is just sample-heavy fun.
That being said, though, because I mean, this is a hip-hop album, obviously, but like, is it though? Because here,
I mean, that's a controversial topic.
Are you right? I'm gonna throw out 3 bands for you, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'll judge by your reaction whether or not you think that I'm right or not. Cake,
sure.
Beck.
Yeah.
Modest Mouse.
I haven't listened to too much Modest Mouse, so I can't.
Neither have I, but I've listened to enough. Like,
I kind of know what they sound like. They're really weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The vocalists on this album and the kind of like somewhat general vibe, like it's not the same. Okay, I'm not saying that this is like Cake, but like I could not help but think of like Going the Distance And I could not have help but think of
definitely.
like Loser by Beck, or like, you know, just like the shit from Modest Mouse that everybody's heard.
Yes.
Like I could not help, like, it's like that spoken word versus hip hop.
Sure, yeah, it's many hip hop artists do not call this hip hop, to be sure.
Like even the very intro to this reminds me so, like, I mean, like reluctantly crouched at the starting line.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like all I was like, oh my God, this is Cake. Like that's what this sounds like to me. It's great. And like,
Yeah, I think it's honestly a masterpiece, this album.
It is a masterpiece.
It transcends like genre discussion because it's like an art piece. More so than like, you know, your average music. Like most music is primarily music. If you, like, that sounds weird because obviously music is art. But like, you know, it's not, it's music, you know, it's notes and shit. And like they're making it and they're putting some emotion behind it. And that's it. This is like an exhibit at a museum.
let me give you the hard recommend.
Yes.
Okay? Let me give you the hard recommend. This is the music that I wish that I could make.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, yeah, this shit is crazy.
Like, this is so well crafted.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it feels exacting and yet like so relaxed and fun. It's like they did it effortlessly, even though I'm sure it was a huge amount of work.
I would love to look at the DAW for the digital audio workstation. I would love to look at the fucking like DAW screen of like what any of these tracks were, because I bet that it would blow my fucking mind. Like it's just like the amount of like meticulousness that goes into this is it's insane.
Yeah. No, there's no accidental sound happening here. They weren't like, I mean, they probably did do this because that's somehow.
Let me give you some. I want to give you some examples.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, like some specific examples of the kind of shit that like I would never have understood had I not made music. And now that I have, I'm like, that's genius. Is on Keen Teen Skip around 6:06.
Okay. Oh yeah, what?
It's how it transitions from the like the record skip to them like talking.
Yes.
That's fucking genius.
And it's like, but there's like a weird delay between the two voices at the same time, even though it's like also coming in at the record skip.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then later on in the track, when they reuse that sample, let me find the place.
I'm just listening to the song.
Yeah, 924. 924. Go to 924.
Oh my God. Just like, you can skip to any part of the album and it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, like the drill sound.
Well, shit, even the drill sound, but like the fact that like they recontextualize the sample with the beat behind it. Like, fuck, dude. Like, fuck. Like, God damn it. It's so good. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Hell yeah. This
like,
album
pisses me
a
off.
masterpiece.
It makes me angry how good this is. Like, I'm angry at this album for them being so fucking talented.
Yeah. Just genius. Absolutely inspired music.
Yeah. The only track on this album that I'm kind of on is Rhymer's Only Room. That one's fine. But everything else.
Yeah, no, Rhymer's Only Room, because it's so minimalist.
It's okay. Like,
it's a little boring.
It's short, so I can forgive it, you know? But like, God, fucking, oh, Jesus. Yeah. It's hard to talk about this album for how good it is. But like, there's Rifle Eyes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The way that they use that sample, like the way that like, you asked for it, you've got, and then the drums come in.
Yeah. High on the chart.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It is. And to go back a little bit, just like Velvet Ant, just like.
Oh, Velvet Ant.
Velvet Ant, Standard Land, Border to a Pen. Just like every little tiny bit of the album is just like, it's fun and also complex at the same time. Like, it's easy to appreciate how good it is. And that's very impressive when like the artist makes it easy for you to like recognize how good they are.
I don't think a person could not like this album if they like music.
I think you underestimate most people's music.
I know. I do. I'm too deep into it.
Music, yeah. Cloud Dead is like, I really was like 50-50 on whether you would like this album. I thought it might be a little too hip-hoppy still for you. Just because it's like, there's a lot of, sorry.
Is it though? Like, I mean, like, it's interesting you say that, because it's like, I don't know that I agree with, like, even if like, I'm trying to describe this, like, if you've ever listened to like bands that have spoken word lyrics, and I don't know that I would describe this as it's there's hip hop portions of this for sure, but like it's so barely that, you know, and like like I said, I am open to listening to a pure hip hop album, but like this is so far removed from. I mean, this is like there's like a hip hop artist in the same state as this album was being made, kind of thing.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
No. Let me put something in here for you to listen to real quick. Is this the best song? Yes. Yeah, this is. Okay, I'm gonna post a like OG hip hop song from Dr. Octagon, better known as Cool Keith.
Okay.
This is OG hip hop, like real shit. But like, listen to it.
Okay. Dr. Octagon, Blue Flowers. I'm gonna listen to this right now. Yeah, and like I said, like I'm not sure that I'm gonna love this, although I do actually really love the beat that they've laid out.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Octagon's great, but and then obviously it's not Cloud Dead, But like,
it's so interesting, by the way, how like I never would have understood or cared like about the underlying beat before. Like it would have been like I would have recognized it, but like I never would have thought about like how it's constructed or like any of the and that's what I have so much of a better handle on now than I've had in my life, basically, is like I have so much of a better handle on like music production and composition, which is a language that I just didn't understand, right? Like I understood music performance. That's what I understood. And like there's no performance here.
It's interesting, I guess, because me and Mason ended up like doing like using I don't remember what it was called, but like we used like an expensive music production program to like make music for a while. And like none of it was very good, but like I understood at a like pretty early how like complicated a song was when it came to like digitally constructing it. So I guess I've always had an appreciation. Like I don't have the technical knowledge you have, obviously, but like I always had an appreciation for how hard it was to like put a song together electronically.
Yeah,
so,
and I've had a very shallow view of what the elements of producing any piece of music are. Like I didn't understand how deep the rabbit hole actually went.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's very complicated and very involved.
Here's the thing, and I understand the songwriting process of 4 musicians or 5 musicians, where it's like I have a bass guitar, I have 1 to 2 guitars, a drummer, and a vocalist, and the limitations that introduces and how you produce music for that group of people. Because up until very recently, that was it. That was all I ever did, right? Like when I wrote and arranged music, it was for 5 pieces or less, Whereas now there's also the extreme other example, which is infinite musicians and infinite instruments.
Exactly.
And the possibilities that are available to that. And I always kind of discounted as, well, yeah, but you're just putting shit on a computer. Like, how hard could it be? And how hard could it be? Well, it turns out extreme. Like, I mean, like that track that I sent.
That explains a lot of things. Because I knew how hard it was because I tried to do it.
That track "Miss You" that I sent you, the one that I made.
Yeah, how many?
That's like a minute and something track.
Yeah,
that took a long time to put together.
Yeah,
because it's fucking intricate. Like, there's a lot of shit going on, and there was a lot of tweaking that I had to do, and a lot of like, fitting things into. I mean, one of the things that I learned about, right, is fitting things into the frequency space, right? Like, when I first started making music, like I just threw shit haphazardly at it. But like now there's a concept of like, okay, well, I have something in the low frequency band. I have something like in each kind of frequency band, right?
Gotta have that bottom.
I mean, it's not even just that, right? It's like, I mean, I've been watching tutorials where it's like, well, what I'll do is, like some of the people that I've been listening to, what they'll do is they'll go into the like the EQ graph, and they'll pull out all of the bands except for like a fairly narrow band, like, between whatever 2 frequencies. He's like, because I don't have anything in that frequency, right? Like that frequency is mostly empty, and I want to fill that frequency out. And I'm like, holy shit. like it's so obvious in retrospect, but like it's something I never would have even considered it. It wouldn't even like, it's like, I have a bass guitar, and I have an electric guitar, and I have drums, and I have a vocalist. It's like, I don't fucking care about the frequencies. I just,
I didn't think about that really either before now.
But it's like all these kinds of things, like the electronic music space. I've kind of always suspected that it was a very compositional space, but I didn't really understand what that meant. I understand what that means now. I am a baby when it comes to the electronic music space, but I now have enough understanding to know how much I don't know. Like, I've watched I don't know if you've ever listened or watched Andrew Huang. He's I actually think he's Canadian. But he does this series. It's 4 producers, 1 sample. Where they go through and they all take a sample and they do something different with it.
Andrew what?
Andrew Huang, Huang.
Huang. I was going W. Okay.
Yeah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Andrew, you're not listening, right. But if you for some reason were listening, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
Okay, yeah, he does like music stuff.
I mean, if you've
4 producers, I see, yeah.
He's an incredible producer, and he has this gigantic, massive modular synth, like an actual hardware modular synth.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's beautiful. It's like a fucking spaceship. But when he does 4 producers, 1 sample, like it's incredible. Like, because the producers, they'll generally show you their DAW, their like what their workspace looks like,
sure,
and like what the actual tracks they're listening, and like the tracks they're producing and the way they're producing these things. Like, I mean, the depth that you can go to in the compositional space from an electronic music perspective. Like, this is the kind of shit that, like, I mean, people always talk about, like, like Mozart and Beethoven. If Mozart and Beethoven could have ever, like, accessed this kind kind of complexity,
yeah, oh my God, can you imagine?
They'd be like a kid in a fucking candy store. Yeah. Like, it's amazing what's available. And it's amazing what's available for free, to be able to play with. Like,
there used to be a lot of music. Now there is an infinite amount of good music.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's insane. So, like, I'm glad that you recommended this album to me because
I'm very glad you appreciated it because it's so
at this
good.
Time specifically.
Yes. Yeah, well, I knew I couldn't do it, but I wanted to because I've loved it for so long. But I was like, no, you won't like it. Like,
well, I will say I think there's a fairly good chance I would have liked this album, but I love this album.
Yes, good. That's the correct. It is one of the best albums of all time. So
yeah. I mean, this is
easily top 10 for me, without a doubt.
I can understand why.
Yeah,
I
couldn't name you my other 9, but Echoland, 3, Cloud Dead, Log, Flower Kings, etc.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like I was so inspired by listening to this. Like I was so inspired by just like
hell yeah,
like I was just like, this is like. Oh, there's like so many more things that I can learn and so many more things that I can do and so more creative ways that I can use samples and I can use sounds, and I can think about like transitions and stuff like that. Like the transitions in this album are amazing.
Yeah. It's so smooth.
Like, yeah. I mean, like that transition I was talking about in Rifle Eyes. Like, it's just like, it's so clean and it's so obvious when you think about it, right? Like, it's like, oh, of course you would do something like this, but they did it. And it's like, and that's the artistry, right? Like that's the thing that is the genius I mean, of course anybody could copy doing something like that, but when they do it, that's the brilliance.
Oh my God. It's all so good. Anytime I just like start playing it, just like minnows have teeth in their throats, minnows in their throats. And then it just flows so seamlessly between the 2 vocalists, like at all times. Like
I will say Dead Dogs 2 is the one that got stuck in my head the most.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, that's the one that's the most ear catching.
Like starting at 27:02, I guess. Understand the sight, the 2 dogs dead, shy, so blue, gonna the blood to your head. It's like I would just be singing that in the shower, and I'm just like, wait, what's that from? I'm like, oh, that's right, it's the Cloud Dead album.
It's so satisfying. Inside of you, understand the sight. Yeah, and it's just like the tone is like so perfect. It comes in between, and the bass line is constantly like blasting away. And then and the way they do like the popping and like the noise.
Yeah. Well, noise is such a crucial part. It's such an underappreciated part of composition. Like even just white noise.
Yeah.
Like the synth that there's incredible free synthesizer that I use called Vital. It's a 3 oscillator synthesizer that has like a bunch of like low frequency oscillators you can add, a bunch of envelopes you can add, and it has a white noise generator. And like the noise generator, it's like there's so like, for instance, if you want to make a snare drum, you need fucking white noise. Like white noise is the thing that like gives it that kind of snare-ish like kind of feeling to it. Like
remain.
There's so like there's so much, and there's so much to just like adding little bits of white noise in the background, like adding like nature sounds, or adding fucking like city sounds or something, just to kind of fill out the frequency space, and give you like a sense of something, like a sense that like it's a full sound instead of just kind of like a couple of pieces of instrument. It's hard to really describe the depths of how good this is.
Yeah, and it's all feels like effortless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that really impresses me about it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard to pick apart.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh yeah, well they're just doing this thing here, and it's like, no, they're just like, the whole thing is the thing. They've like successfully made a completely like natural feeling soundscape, which is obviously completely artificial.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I feel like there's a part where they used like reverse sounds a little bit. I don't know where the part
reverse sounds.
Yeah, where they put something in reverse.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. Reverse sounds just sounds such an absurd phrase. It's reverse sound.
I mean, like, you know what I'm talking. Like, it's
no, of course, yeah, reversed sound.
I feel like that's really affecting, and I feel like I can't remember if there was. I feel like there was some of that in here because
around in Physics of a Unicycle, I think the symbol might be reversed. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, around like 36. If not, it's just, I don't know what that is. That's just an insane sound.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. And what's weird for me is like, for some reason, oh, that's right. Yeah. When I downloaded this album like many years ago, it put it into alphabetical order in my playlist. And so, like, for a very long time, I did not, like, have it in the proper order. And it was still really good. But when it gets put in the proper order, it is very, very, very good.
Oh, absolutely.
It definitely improves it.
Also, Physics of a Unicycle is the one where I feel like it reminds me the most of Modest Mouse. Like, it's that kind of, like, really, like, almost, like, indie rock type of, like...
Yeah, I mean, this is very far from hip-hop, this particular song.
Like, starting around, like, 3330 or something. It like, the lyrics of that, it sound like extremely indie rock. Actually, you know what other band it sounds like? The Main Drag. A Jagged Gorgeous Winter.
I mean, the vocalists kind of sound like Cloud Dead, I guess, in a way, maybe. Not really.
Okay. I could not, like, as soon as I was like, ooh, that sounds like The Main Drag. Okay. Fair enough, but yeah, it's just like it sounded very indie rock to me, which, like, I mean, I like indie rock. I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It spans genres, to be sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, this was a great album. Like, this is just.
Yeah, I'm so happy you liked it. When I was thinking about what to recommend, I was like, maybe I should do Cloud Dead. And I started listening to it, and I was like, oh, I forgot this was like one of the best albums ever. I kind of forgot that for a while.
I forgot that this was the best album ever.
Yeah, I forgot that it was like one of my favorite albums. It's like, oh, right, okay, yeah, I should definitely recommend. Because Jason likes Boards of Canada and Jay Dilla, and so he's not going to turn his nose up at like this really weird sample-based band. And
I think I like house music, man.
So yeah,
I mean, I like house music, and so I love samples.
But this is pretty far from house music.
It's extremely far from house music, but like I love, like, if samples are the things that are holding you back, don't worry, I like samples.
No, it was also that it was like primarily like talking vocals.
I'm not against that. In fact, I mean, I'm not against anything necessarily. I obviously I described in a previous podcast how I have I think an ingrained negative reaction to like classic hip hop vocals because of being.
It's more that you didn't like Death Grip.
Death Grips, I think the problem with Death Grips is that I just don't care. Like, I get it. I just, like...
Yeah, sure. So, like, that's why. That's why it's hard for me. It's like, because Death Grips to me is like right up there with, like, I mean, I wouldn't put it in my top 10 maybe, but like top 20 surely, maybe even top 15. Yeah. It's like, to me, when you're like, I don't care about Death Grips, it's like, how can you like not want to just like throw yourself out of a window when you start listening to that mixtape?
I think that what holds me back from Death Grips is that, like, in a lot of ways, it's just like Rage Against the Machine in a lot of ways.
Sure. I mean, okay. That's fair.
Rage Against the Machine already exists, and I already like Rage Against the Machine.
I accept that. I accept that argument.
Okay, that's fair.
I like Death Grips more, but I also don't listen to a lot of Rage Against the Machine, so like,
yeah.
There we go.
You know, like, I mean, like Bulls on Parade and shit. Like, if you listen to Bulls on Parade or, you know, fucking, you know, I mean, just anything by, like, Rage Against the Machine, like, it's got that same kind of, like, angry energy that, like, you know, like, Killing in the Name of. Like, if you listen to Killing in the Name of, like, and tell me it's like, well, how different is that from Death Grips? It's like, it's not that different. It's different, but it's not.
I might still recommend you listen to Death Grips again, just because you like your better understanding of, because they do also do a lot of like sampling.
Like, if you want to make me, that's fine.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna stop you.
I have lots of other
gonna,
bands that we need to get through, so it won't happen anytime soon if I do it.
I'm gonna make you listen to some things that I'm pretty sure you're not gonna like. So like, it's like, do not feel like you have to be restricted to things that I'm going to like.
Oh, I don't do that. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But I do try to make sure you don't like hate it. I don't want you to be like, "Fuck you, Steven." Like, God
that's
damn
okay.
It.
It makes for good content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was.
Yeah, great.
So this was fantastic.
Yeah,
These were some good recommends. I will listen to Cloud Dead again. I'm not sure if I'm going to listen to the Rome album again, but I will listen to Cloud Dead again.
is so good. That's all I cared about all the time.
Okay,
Rome was like the backup if you like hated Cloud Dead for some reason. But like you didn't.
I think there were some good tracks off Rome, and I have some like interesting things that I might be willing to kind of incorporate into my own music. But like it was the right album at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Yeah, I don't think Flowers from Exile is super interesting musically, ultimately, as I've said. So that doesn't bother me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yeah, next time.
Yes, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, Dark Souls, all of the above.
Ring.
Praise the sun. Fucking praise the sun. Never go hollow.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time.